Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we have 0 infamy. So I want to attack Ethiopia. This is a relatively high priority here. We don't really expect anyone to join as long as we're somewhat careful with what we do. So we want to take over certainly territories here in why can I not think of the name Arabia? We definitely want to attack their territories in Arabia. So Taiz is not a thing. That's noted. So we're interested in definitely getting some states like Ethiopian Hejaz. But I think these up over here are an even bigger target for us because they're very close over here, but they're not over this way. So this is Ethiopian Trucial Coast, this is Ethiopian Nejd, and a lot of that is impassable. So we want to go for Nejd and Trucial Coast for sure. And then the question is what else? So we'll start with Nejd, that's going to be 1.6 infamy, very little infamy. Prediction is that Delhi has a +8 Ethiopia, but isn't actually going to join. I'm going to hop over to Delhi and we're going to work on improving some relations with them, if we can. We can't. So this is the same thing as what was going on over here. We can't improve relations with them. So I think we're just going to hope that they don't join at this point. So we're going to go for Ethiopian Nejd. That's absolutely going to be ours. And then we 1000% also want Ethiopian, what was this, Trucial Coast? Yeah, Ethiopian Trucial Coast. Now they're going to decline this. There we go. So that's absolutely understood. No shockers there. So Ethiopia is currently fearful of us, and they should be. Our primary demand is to conquer Ethiopian Nejd. They are trying to return Hejaz, so that's understood. Now what we need to do is we've got 130 maneuvers, and the question is, how much do we think we can get away with? So I definitely want to get Trucial Coast. That's very cheap. So we'll take that from them. And should we make these be primary demands? Probably, even though that's more infamy, they are likely to back down. So we're going to make that a primary demand. And then I'd like to add more war goals into this. The question is how many? So we've got Ethiopian Somaliland down over here. Ethiopian Hejaz, which I absolutely want to take. That's 100% something that we want. We probably even want to make that into a primary. So we're at 11 infamy at this point. We're targeting staying under somewhere around 25, I think, is what we're looking for. So at this point, we can definitely go for Ethiopian Yemen, which will get them fully kicked out of Arabia, which is, I think, really solid. Once they're fully kicked out of Arabia, then we can start thinking about this area out over here. I wouldn't mind being able to reach Bazin, so that would be taking either Gondar or Blue Nile. And the question is, how much would those cost? Those are very expensive. I don't think we should do that this war. Perhaps next war. We could go with Ethiopian Somaliland, which is this out over here. That's going to give us a bit of an exclave out over this way. And then after that, we should take nothing else. So we'll make that primary. And at this point, that should be good. We've got 3 fronts and we've got 3 armies. So that seems absolutely perfect. I don't see a reason to mobilize our armies yet. We're just going to chill here. Our infamy is exactly where we want it to be, and that seems perfect. Electric railways is now unlocked, and that unlocks us a lot of new production methods. So let's hop into our buildings and let's get some production methods going here. We are probably going to need more power plants, but we can go to electric engines, which is going to significantly boost our engine production. That's a very big deal. For our artillery foundries, we should be on rotary valve engines and breech loaders. Definitely. What else do we have here? Well, livestock ranches can go to refrigerated rail cars, which I'm going to do. Dye plantations, we don't actually own any of those, so that's fine. Our arts academies should be unified. We'll just do that. What else do we have? Logging camps going to rail log carts. Done. And then fishing wharves going to refrigerated rail cars. Consider that done. Railways, I'm going to take them up to electric trains. This is going to create problems, and I am aware of that. So that looks good for now. Let's let that go. And I want to check in. Okay, so we see an electricity shortage in Aleppo, Baghdad, Blue Nile, Croatia, Konya, and Syria. So I don't think we have any power plants in this right now. And this is a very long list of construction for the moment, but that's absolutely fine. So we want to get some power plants built in these locations. So what's our shortage in Aleppo right now? Well, we can actually just look at this and see. We should let this settle for a little bit. So let's give it a week or two. And honestly, these guys are heading back home for some reason. They don't need to, but whatever. Automatic bottle blowers is currently spreading, and no one seems too upset about this, although Portugal just rivaled us. I'm going to improve relations with Portugal, since apparently we can do that. France is protective of us. And we've got other friends. So we've got Ukraine, we've got the United States of Europe, we've got France. It's not the end of the world if Portugal is super upset at us. But the question is, are they strong enough to make us think twice about this war here? That's in number of battalions. I'm wondering about power projection. 8613, that's probably way higher than us. Yeah, so that's noted. But does Portugal have any interest out over here? France does. Ukraine does. I don't see any Portugal out here. Is Portugal in this? They are. And they're on the fence at this moment. I'm not planning on doing anything else here other than, you know, Delhi swayed to the side of Ethiopia. Okay, so Delhi was swayed. Delhi is not that strong. And this doesn't give us additional fronts. So that doesn't matter. This is still not going to be a good thing for them. So railway building throughput or railway building throughput and prestige. Engineer pops becoming loyalist or take prestige. I'm going to take the loyalists. Thank you very much. So it's been a couple of weeks at this point, and we definitely know that we need some additional power plants. So let's start working on that. So I'm going to sort by earnings here, and we can just build in these locations until the earnings are theoretically no longer positive. This is going to be a lot, but we know that that's going to be the case. Wow, Palestine apparently needs a lot of these. This takes it up to the economy of scale cap. I'm going to leave Palestine where it's at for now. I'm actually going to just drop that down to 11, so that's at the economy of scale cap, and we'll see what that ends up feeling like. But for now, there's still a number of these to build. I'm not going to go all the way down to 0. I'm just going to go down until they're no longer above 1K. So something kind of like that. And we'll get that going. So that'll be fine for now, and we'll see if anyone else joins this. Delhi stopped improving relations. Okay, large amounts of Maghrebi people are migrating from Portuguese Iberia to Baghdad. That's not bad. But we're just going to continue to improve relations with Portugal for now. And our infamy is dropping, so that's good. And we're about halfway through this at this point, so we should definitely get some forces mobilized and sent to these fronts. So we only need to hold these fronts, right? We need to progress on at least one front. But the other fronts only need to hold until the progressing front is done. Okay, so Streamon just sided with Ethiopia. And the question is, how powerful is Streamon? They're an insignificant power. That's pretty irrelevant. We may need to expand our military. We will see. Delhi is damaging relations. People are mass immigrating from Portugal again, so that's good. And I want to improve relations with Delhi for right now. Okay, so we're going to work on that. That seems fine for the moment. And we'll be arriving over here with our militaries. And we see that they do have a larger number of total battalions. But overall, if we look at the power projection, 1391, Delhi has 2145. So call that about 3,500. And then if you factor in the stream on as well, they have like 200. So call it 3,700 compared to our power projection of 4,232. We expect to be victorious without further expansion of our military at this time. The real question is anyone else going to join? We just finished high-grade explosives, so that's neat. But yeah, is anyone else going to join this war? We're getting down to the wire. It's very, very close at this point to no one else joining this war. I do see that this front out over here is net negative. I'm going to have this army be set to defend front, and we'll have this guy be on adamant defense. So we're just going to be holding here while we push this front and this front is the idea for right now. And then once these fronts are cleaned up, we can redirect the armies here and get that taken over. So that's the overall concept. No one else is going to join at this point. And we could try to sway some people into this, but to be honest, we don't need to. I think we got this. So that seems absolutely a-okay. We're working our way through constructing a bunch of these power plants. We have a pretty big deficit at this moment, but I'm going to keep constructing for now. And I'm wondering where these troops from Delhi are going, what fronts they're going to. Okay, so the war has broken out at this point. They're going to be attacking us over here, and they might make some gains, but we're just on the defense over here. We're going to be attacking over here, and I don't know that we're going to be able to take this because it's all impassable. Yeah, so we're going to need a naval invade over here, aren't we? Let's see. So how do we do that again? I remember that there was a way to do that for sure. I think we need to have a navy for that, though. That might be a useful thing. So we're just going to abandon this front for now, and I want these guys to get reassigned over to this front, is where I want them to go. So we'll work on occupying this entire area over here. Once again, we're not going to get this. Korean people are migrating in. Cool. This is why we loosened our migration laws, by the way. This is going to significantly boost our population, so that's great. In the meantime, of course... Oh, wow, more people immigrating. I like it. In the meantime, of course, we are busily building these power plants. We're going to be done with those fairly soon, and we'll see what those shortages look like after those finish. Okay, so we're slowly progressing over here, and I want these guys to now swap over from defense to heavy barrage and advanced front. Maybe not reckless advance. Okay, we'll just do something kind of like that, and this war is going very well for us at this juncture. We don't have a navy, and that's understood. So at this point, we can gamble on our politics, sure. Speaking of which, we don't have a law change going on, do we? Do we want to change anything at this moment? There's not a lot to change. We can't go to public schools at this point, which is sad, but we can't do that. So maybe we just go for Social Security here? Sure, let's do it. We've got lots of bureaucracy. I'm not concerned about the bureaucracy. That'll be okay. Apparently there's a front up over here. Oh, the Armenian communists spawned again. Okay, I don't care about that. That's fine. They can do that if they like. How's this battle going? Pretty well. Okay, I like it. The gamble was a success, apparently, and yeah, this war is going well too. So everything looks good here. We're going to definitely get this under control very soon. They're going to be taking huge amounts of war exhaustion, which they already are taking quite a bit. Bengali people are moving in, and there's that Armenian communist revolt, which we expect Armenia can take care of on their own. So no problem there. The gamble was a success, and interest group political strength or authority? Honestly, we don't need the authority. I'll take the authority. but we don't really need it. We are running a bit of a deficit, and we may want to start pausing our construction soon, but to be honest, I think I'm not going to. I think we'll continue to construct here. We've got lots of people coming in, and we're going to need jobs for those people. So this is fine. We'll get all of these power plants built. We've still got some shortages running, and that's noted for now. But we've just about got this front wrapped up, and we just progressed to study immediately on old age pension, so that's great. We're no longer improving relations with Delhi. Did they kick out our diplomats? I think they did. Okay, that's fine. Not like they're going to stop us here, so this is absolutely A-okay. This battle we are, of course, winning, and there's this battle up over here that we're winning as well, so that looks good. We're just going to take over all of their Arabian territory is the goal. And very soon, we will have... Why are we not occupying over here? That's interesting. This isn't showing up as occupied, but this is where the front is. I don't know. This front is now freed up. These guys are heading over and are going to reinforce out over here. So we're going to be fully focused on Ethiopia's core territory now. And this is just not going to go well at all for Ethiopia. We see some occupation up over here, and that all just looks great. At this moment, we're barely running a deficit, and we've still got gold reserves, so I see no reason to stop construction at this time. Okay, we hit a law stall there. Malay people are now mass immigrating. Portugal has claimed Sinai, so that's, you know, rude. With Portugal doing that, we're currently guaranteed, aren't we? Let's check here. I don't know that we're guaranteed, actually, right now. No, we're not guaranteed at this moment. So Portugal could theoretically attack us, and they have a lot more power projection. We should work on embiggening our army. I think that's very clear. We should wrap up this war and then make our army larger in order to deal with Portugal. That said, if Portugal attacks us, we can probably get France to pitch in on that, or the United States of Europe, or Ukraine, or we can probably find a friend. We've got decent friends around, so we'll have to consider that, but for the moment, it's okay. Streamon is doing a naval invasion up over here. Okay, I mean, I don't really expect that to be a significant problem. The invasion is stalled, surprisingly. But for the moment, I'm okay with this. We're just going to wrap this up. Although we could send an army over to deal with this, I don't think there's a reason. We'll wait to see if they actually invade. So that'll be fine for now. We're winning this battle over here, which we expect. That's all looking good, and they're down to 28 at this point. So things are going very well for us. No doubt about that. We can't invade over here, unfortunately. This impassable terrain causing us problems, and Taiz is not going to let us through. We hit a debate here on old age pension, and we could just acquiesce to their demands. The trade unions are so happy with us, it's fine. Losing 3 opinion literally matters not in the least. So a new front broke out over here. I'm going to send these lads over to the Oromia front over here. Okay, so that's looking good. We do still have an electricity shortage in Niger and Baghdad. So let's see what's going on with that. In Niger, we do see a power plant being built there. Is this a private construction or a foreign construction? Because we're not doing that. Yeah, there is a power plant going in there. So that seems fine. Up over in Baghdad, I want to take a look at the power plant here. Yeah, we definitely could use a power plant or 2 there. I'm going to queue up 2. So that'll be fine. We'll get that going. And yeah, there's this naval invasion ongoing up over here. And we don't have anyone there right now. But we're about to wrap up this front, and this is fine. We can send forces there in a moment. So far, this is looking okay. Did this just consolidate back down to a single front? I think it did. You're at the Blue Nile front, Blue Nile front, Blue Nile front. Okay. I'm going to send these guys up over to here to go take that to go get that taken care of. So that seems okay. This naval invasion, they are working on, but we'll get there. No problem. So Ethiopia is being crushed at this moment. And there's low organization on one of our armies, but I don't really care. It's this army here. Why does this army have low organization at this moment? Well, it's low on manpower. That's fine. We'll get that dealt with soon enough. So that seems okay. We're absolutely crushing it right now. So they're doing their invasion out over here, and we're just going to push them back, and no problem. Stall, huh? We can take a setback. That's okay. I don't love doing that, of course, but we'll do it for now. Okay, more people migrating in. Beautiful. So this is absolutely fantastic for us, of course. We're going to finish up these couple of power plants that we've got going on in Baghdad here in 4 weeks. And that's the only place where we have an electricity shortage right now. Explosives are expensive at this time, and my question is that because of the price of fertilizer, or do we need more production of explosives? Let's see here. Price of paper, actually. That is a paper price issue. So we can deal with that fairly easily. We can build more paper mills somewhere. We've got 50 in Campania right now, and I'm going to put in... We don't have peasants in a lot of places. Algiers. It's got to be in Algiers. I'm going to do 5. We'll get that going for now. So that looks good, and we're just going to continue to press in Ethiopia. They are very close to done here, and this battle is very much going in our favor. Excellent. So we'll just continue to push them right on out of here. That'll be fine. And in the meantime, of course, Ethiopia is nearly fully occupied. I don't know why it's not showing us that Gondar is occupied. Feels like it should be. But Ethiopia just capitulated. War's over. Fantastic. So we got all of that, and that is absolutely perfect. So we have kicked Ethiopia entirely out of Arabia at this moment. Beautiful. Now we need to go through, and we need to make sure that all of these locations... Let's sort by number. We need to make sure that all of these locations have at least one railway, which they do. We need to make sure that all of these locations have at least one power plant, which they don't. Israeli Yemen, down here, we can build one in. And that's the only location, I think. We've already got one in these other locations, it seems, including Israeli Trucial Coast. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Yes. Okay, beautiful. So we've got a power plant there. We've got a railway there. I'm also going to put in one level of university in all of these locations if there's not one. So that's just Israeli Yemen. Okay. Beautiful. We're going to need to get these locations incorporated, at least some of them. Most of that will be already incorporated, but we'll get Yemen and Somaliland coming in here. Now, Somaliland down over here, I want to make sure, I don't know that I checked here. There is a power plant, there is a railway, there is a university. Beautiful. Okay, so that looks good. Now we're going to get our production methods synced here. So we're just going to reset production methods in Somaliland, in Yemen. Yemen isn't actually going. I don't know why. Well, we know that we need to change the production method here to electric trains. We can't do this because the state doesn't have access to electricity. In both cases, that's going to be what's happening there. Okay, so we're going to need to do that after we get this power plant built, which is going to be 24 weeks. Understood. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, hopefully, I'm going to remember to boost up our army sizes here because I do believe that we need to take these up to 60 at least in order to compete with Portugal. That's going to be the goal, assuming I remember. Fingers crossed. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. and of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.